Who's in, who's out? Indiana Hoosiers Live 66, presented by FanDuel. And Brad, we don't talk basketball until we do. And we'll talk a little basketball. We're going to start it off. Indiana just put Purdue in a locker. So we talked about it a little bit before we hopped on, but I'm going to step aside and give you the floor here, Mr. Master of the Eye Test. What did you see last night from our Indiana Hoosiers?
I saw finally us putting Purdue and their stupid-ass fans in their place. What up, little bros? Hope I see any little bros in the chat. Feel free to chime in. If any little bros out there want to talk to you. And they're down bad as they should be. 3 straight from them if we want to talk Purdue ball. First signature win, DeVries Era. I think if you weren't already bought into him being the guy, just kind of watching them play, some things really stick out. Like, obviously, key signature win. Guys really stepped up defensively in a team that outmatched us physically, which is like a big theme with this team. So it's going to continue. You know, this team is small. They only have 2 bigs on the roster that play. Sisley's not a big; he's a 4, like a stretch 4. Like, he's like arguably a 3. I guess they have 4 bigs, like Sisley, Bailey, and Alexis, but 2 of those guys are legit 4s. Like, Bailey's playing out. Bailey, fantastic player, averaged 19 a game at Davidson last year, being forced in a tough spot, playing the 5, out of position, catching a lot of unnecessary flack. Because in the reality, he's a stretch 4. Give that guy Kofi Coburn, he's going crazy. I hope Darien DeVries realizes going through this Big Ten gauntlet, it's like, man, I gotta get a couple big guys in the portal. Like, that is primo number 1. Guards are everywhere. Let's get some veterans.
You were right. I did have to reel you in. I wanted to talk about, like, the Connor Enright played 40 minutes last night, guarded the best point guard in college basketball and made him look human. Fletcher Warrior disappeared again in Assembly Hall. Like, the golden age of Purdue basketball is going to end up 500 at best against Indiana, and that is a wildly hilarious thing.
Yeah, the Braden Smith Lawyer Kaufman-Wren class is going to end up not as good as against Indiana as they probably should have been, to be quite honest. And that's awesome because they're little brother, and that's what it should be. We established that last night, winning the Natty, and then a week later beating their ass in Assembly Hall. Signetti with Radicic and Quinn Warren and Jamari Sharp, who's probably going to be captain on the team next year. Cool moment. I don't know if you saw the clip of him tapping, bringing Jamari Sharp over. Like, that's the shit that should be going around more often, because I think one thing that gets overlooked is how much Signetti cares and loves for his players. Anyways, back to basketball. Connor Enright playing the game of his life defensively, hitting a big shot. Legend in IU lore forever for that shot.
A classic yes.
A classic
Marcus Smart special.
No, with this team, like, a lot of the time, like, I'm like, every Lamar Wilkerson, I'm watching with my boy, he's like talking about Lamar Wilkerson taking crazy shots. I'm like, dude, Lamar Wilkerson can take any shot he wants. DeVries can take any shot he wants. Doran can take any shot he wants. Enright's a little bit of a different story, but, like, if at that point it's like Enright can also take any shot he wants as long as he's open. And he was. And he took it and he drilled it. He's a great shooter.
With confidence.
As long as they're in rhythm, like, and you don't think about it, like, that's, as a shooter myself, like, that is the key. Like, you just don't think. Whenever I think about my elbow, that's when I miss the shot, right? Like, I can't be thinking about legs and my feet and my elbow when I'm shooting. I gotta just let it rip. Hit a nasty game winner on Monday the other day and runs, by the way, like, straight up kind of fucking around on the wing and then hit a little Kobe fader on the corner for game winner splash. Went like 4 for 5 from 3 in that game. Anyways, so, like, I know what it takes to be, or at least I know what it's like to be a shooter. Anyway, it's not about me. It's about the boys. Did it without Tate Carnaway, who going into the season was like, that's the guy we need to, like, clamp a Braden Smith. So for Enright to step up and make that happen, now the team's all of a sudden in a great spot to, as long as they take care of business, win their home games, and maybe get a couple big wins down the road, like, they're in a good spot to make the tournament, which is great. Overall, so just excited to kind of just follow this team and just enjoy it. Like, coming off a national championship in football, it's like, okay, let's just, whatever we do in basketball is just going to be gravy, man. Like, it's just going to be a little icing on the cake. Doesn't really, like, we're a football school. Like, let's just call it what it is, right? And, like, with that, all the other sports are going to get good since we won that Natty. That's something I said before. Like once we win the Natty in football, it's all going to come back to basketball is going to be back like this. Like don't be surprised if you see us in the Sweet 16 in 2020 in the 27 tournament. I'm going to call my shot right now. We will be in the Sweet 16 in 27. Calling it now. Clip it. And yeah, this team, they have a lot of really good things to them. Offensively, they have the highest adjusted offensive rating in the KenPom era. Think about that. Let that sink in. They're top 15 in assist rate. They share the ball, they share the wealth, and they shoot really well. So as long as this team is filled with shooters, they're going to be playing DeVries ball and they're going to be doing their thing on offense. As long as they share it and they shoot it. And that's IU basketball, man. Like we talk about the Bobby Knight teams, like that is what they did. They shared the ball, they shared the wealth, and they execute well on offense. Defensively, this particular team is limited with that, Bailey, Alexis, and Sisley being the only bigs when the reality is Alexis is undersized 5. He's a legit 5. He's good. He could use a 7-footer to wear some people out for him down the stretch and share those minutes with, where it should be like Bailey and Sisley sharing time at the 4, maybe a little DeVries if we want to go smaller. We could go Bailey, DeVries, 4-5 if we want to go small for stretches, but that shouldn't be our go-to lineup that we're doing. And I hope DeVries adjusts with that going into the portal. So I think it affects us defensively. We know DeVries can coach really good defensive teams. Go look at any of his teams on KenPom. West Virginia year 1 with him was top 10 as an undersized team in defensive efficiency, mostly having to do with the loss of DeVries, which kind of lit a fire in their ass, and they kind of had to play defense or else they would just lose every game. And but yeah, they defense will be fine in the long run. This team has a lot of deficiencies this year in that regard, but I think if we want to go big picture here, this team DeVries shows a lot of good signs. I think the reality is that when you watch the Nebraska-Michigan game, which was on right before then, and you watch some of these other teams like Duke and Arizona. And obviously, every Indiana fan wants to get back to that level. The reality is we just need to get better players. Like, I don't want to, diss these guys because they're good players. Like, Reed Bailey's a good player. King Conroy is a good player. Wilkerson's a good player. They would be playing professionally overseas. If we want to compete at the high level, we got to get NBA guys. And this team just doesn't have NBA guys. Maybe Wilkerson. That's what I would say. Like, maybe Wilkerson. Obviously, Slew's coming in here. Loud as CSERT Assembly. Obviously, a lot of buzz from the Natty, and then we're playing Purdue. So, glad to see Assembly back, which looks like the fan base is locking back in for basketball as they should be and always will. So that's great to see. It'll be a great way for recruits, by the way.
Can I zig on you real quick?
Yeah.
I think that we are, and I don't want to be hyperbolic, and I don't want to put any unnecessary expectations on this basketball team. But what are the things we talked about? They brought in 13 to 15 new players, completely new roster.
The whole team
Nick Dorn was dealing with a foot injury, didn't really start playing until the last 2-3 weeks, right? We're now into the end of January, early February. This is now the meat of conference play. This is when you start to see teams really gel with the shooting, with the veteran leadership, with the watching Tucker DeVries battle in the post last night. And I know this team is undersized, and the bigger lineups in the Big Ten are going to give them problems. But it's not due to lack of effort. These dudes play really hard. The shots fall, and they're an easy team to get behind. And so I actually think that this you need to put a really big win on paper sometimes, and obviously the Purdue, we watched Mike Woodson beat Purdue a couple times, so I don't want to put too much stake into one basketball game, but a lot of really, really encouraging things recently for this basketball team, especially with the rise of Nick Dorn. Yeah,
I appreciate you calling it. That's something I missed on the defensive end where I was being a little too critical. They do play really hard. I think that's always
Connor Enright dodging picks at the top of the key, and being able to stay in ball handlers' chests is utterly ridiculous. His lateral quickness and ability to jump around those picks is actually insane. He's elite at it.
Who'd you mention? Sorry.
Enright.
Yeah, he's awesome. great intelligence. Like this team has a lot of veteran leadership and they shoot really well. So like as long as they can make it to the tournament, they're going to be a difficult out. Like if you're a 6 seed playing 11 seed Indiana, like you're shaking your boots. Like that is what's going to happen. And yeah, with Bailey, like Bailey kind of getting some confidence to him, that's going to be huge down the stretch. Need to get that guy going. He's such a good scorer. And I feel like him playing the 5, we haven't been able to see that because he's a face-up 4. He is a guy where he can take you off the dribble, stretch it out, and take you to the rack. He's got really good finishing. He's just struggled a little bit. He's adjusting to it, right? And he's a little length, like just a little long and string beanie, you know what I mean? Like, so he's not like a true 5, and it's just difficult for him, right? And he's stepping up to the challenge. With Connerway and Josh Harris being hurt, and I think other guys have gotten hurt throughout the scary moment with Wilkerson last night as well. I held my breath for a little bit there. This team has the potential to have a sound season, but if we want to get back to that top level, it's just going to take some years to get there and start building up the roster again. And I think there's a point to not only did he was the first year head coach that had to replace the entire roster. So he's playing from behind already. And that just left him at a disadvantage. It's not any of these guys' fault. It's not Darien DeVries' fault. They're just playing from behind. But I'm seeing a lot of good, I haven't seen since I've attended Indiana, I have not seen in 2017, the year after the first year of Archie and on, this is the most well-coached team that we've had. And it shows up in the numbers as well, especially offensively. They run great sets. They play the true college game. I think that was a big, with Archie, they were just bad. With Woodson, it was more super talented team, wasn't really playing the college game though, and that was working against them, right? They were so talented. You see Miller Kopp and Trey Galloway and TJD doing their thing in the G League and the NBA, and JHS is probably going to figure it out someday. And super talented teams, but just limited in scheme. They were playing an NBA game in the college game. That just doesn't work, right? There's a reason why UConn wins, right? They're running really good sets. Those, you watch those UConn teams that went back to back, they were talented and they were running they were playing these DeVries teams, but just they had Caravan and Klingon and freaking Tristan Newton and Jordan Hawkins, all those guys. They just need to go back to having those level of players for Indiana, and they're going to be just fine. Got 3 top 75 recruits coming in, freshmen, but definitely got to bring in some veteran guys through the portal to fill up that roster. Got Sisley and Dorn's going to be a big piece to build around, but we got to bring in 4 starters to bring in around Dorn, and then those 3 freshmen and Sisley and Josiah Miles off the bench. That all of a sudden you got a 10 deep that's looking really nice. And what's good is that it's funny, we were chatting about it yesterday with my buddy. Bruce, you know him. And I think one thing that Dusty May gets a lot of flack for being kind of the tampering guy. He was, apparently, probably offered him a Daimara after they played UCLA last year. Probably offered Merez Johnson some money after they played Illinois last year. What's nice, and I'm a big proponent of bending the rules, just the wild, wild west out there. If you ain't, I encourage it. We'll pay those dues later. Bring me a championship. I don't care. Right? By all means necessary. And Keyser will disagree on me here, but I think DeVries.
It's good cop.
DeVries now has the time to formulate a plan going into the portal and bring in those. I'm going to call it the 4 key starters that they're going to need to bring in to build around Nick Dorn's. I think
Sisley starts
next year, right? As the senior guy, knows what he's probably gonna be the team captain next year. Because everyone else is gone. All these other guys are seniors. So it's no, Connerway's gone, DeVries is gone, Wilkerson's gone. I know we'll see if we can ping Lawton to get maybe one of these back, maybe. We'll see. We were joking about that over text yesterday, but There's no real case for any of these guys coming back that are seniors. And I don't know. I have to look into Reed Bailey a little bit. But if they bring in like some solid bigs to build around that, they probably need to bring in with Sisley and coming back, they need to bring in 3 bigs, two that will start, 1 backup center, so a legit 4 and a legit 5 and another 5 to back them up, and then a point guard and a shooting guard, and then Dorn's going to play the 3. That team, you build that team, they'll look like Michigan and the Nebraskas and it's crazy to put Nebraska in that category, but you know what I mean? Like there seems to be with the portal era, just overarching, like these top teams that are making the tournament, they're going to fill in the top 6 seeds. Big gap between everyone else. Like it feels like it's them, and then it's like a big hodgepodge, and it's like it's going to be real tough when you're filling out your bracket this year to pick an upset, because you saw it last year, very chalky. It's probably going to stay that way, and that's the portal effect right there. These teams are loaded. They don't have, these mid-majors won't have that one random NBA guy like a Kyle O'Quinn on Norfolk State that knocks off the 2 seed Missouri way back in the day, because Kyle O'Quinn is on Duke because he got picked up in the portal, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like it's a little different type of era now, to where you gotta just load up your roster as best you can and let the chips fall where they may. And with the good thing about Indiana is that we got the lore and we got the money to do it, and we got the coach. He's the guy. Buy in. He's it. Yeah, maybe there's better guys out there, but he's top 25 college coach. Give him the players. We can make some noise, make a run, and do our thing. And that's basketball. Like we're on the brink, man. I was so bought in after yesterday's win. I was already bought in on DeVries, just watching them play, watching them share the ball, effort on defense. Like that's college basketball. That's the team. Those are the teams, because people don't know that. Well, people do know this. Grew up a UCLA fan. I watched the last teams to go to 3 straight Final Fours. It was those UCLA teams, 06 to 08. Insane effort on defense, and they obviously had tons of NBA talent. They were able to score it when they wanted to, right? You talk Darren Collison, Aaron Aflalo, yada, yada, yada. They had all those guys, right? And, Russell Westbrook, Kevin Love. I'll throw some names. I'm done. Watching those teams like that is why I feel like I can be critical, because I've seen it this century. Like I've seen it. Like people can talk about the Bobby Knight days. I don't want to hear it. It's a new era.
You were kidding. I do got to rein. I really do have to rein you. No, I like the long-term outlook of this program. I think I'm a little bit more glass half full on the short-term outlook of this season. I just like the fact that we can shoot it and we're gritty and we play defense and move the ball. And I don't know. I get enjoyment when I watch this team play. Like obviously I'm not a diehard. I'm much more like focused on football, but like when you're associated with Indiana University in any way, shape, or form, you become an Indiana basketball fan. And so for that program to continue to give people like us, and I know you're much more of a basketball junkie than I am, but to give us more things to talk about and to continue to highlight this program because of where it is in its place historically in the sport. So this is unbelievably exciting. I completely agree with you. I'm bought in on DeVries. I see the vision. I'm torn apart by the way the roster was put together this year. And like, I'm really excited for the future, especially with the way the class of 2026 looks, starting with Prince Alexander Moody. Also, Von Carvalho is in that class, and Trevor, is it Manhertz, who just committed today, and he's going to reclass. So they have 3, like you said, top 75 guys coming in. They're going to be able to hit the portal hard with a sick bankroll. And like you said, when football is winning national championships, we don't have to explain to our viewing audience that Bloomington, Indiana is a really fun place to be, regardless of how the sports are going. And me and you spent 4 years there in an era where Indiana football and Indiana football was all right, but basketball wasn't exactly up to standard. And so really, really exciting time to be a student at Indiana. Imagine being a freshman right now, Brad. Like you come in, your football team goes 16-0, and now like Darien DeVries is riding the ship for Indiana basketball. And all of a sudden it's like, look at what the sports future for an Indiana football fan or Indiana athletics fan looks like right now.
Looks fantastic. Soccer is going to be knocking on the door. We got one of the better baseball programs in the Big Ten. It's going to be tough winning Big Ten titles with UCLA and Oregon, just being around in USC. But Michigan's there. They're a great sports school as well. Like we are. When we started this podcast, we talked about how we can be an everything school. The comparison is you want to be like Michigan, and that's with the utmost respect to them, right? Like they have been good at every sport forever. Like they are one of the premier athletic. They are the premier athletic department in the country. So as close as we can get to them, well, we're about to maybe surpass them with the most recent football title. They're looking. I like their basketball.
I don't know, man. A lot of turmoil. They don't really. A lot of weird stuff going on at that university. A lot of a lot of their staffers get arrested. Like I don't know. Like they're not exactly the most ethical, but they win sometimes.
Yeah, they win, and that's the point. Like I said, I'll take the flack later. Right? Like give me some rings, and we'll figure it out as we go.